Blake, there's only been one team in NHL history, the 58-59 Toronto Maple Leafs, that have qualified for the playoffs when being 5 out with 4 games to go. What gives you the confidence that this group can become the second?
Well, it's not fully in our control, but we'll control what we can in that equation. And if there's any team that just won't go away, it's this one. And we've found ways to continuously stay in the fight and give ourselves a chance. So, you certainly don't want to be relying on the scoreboard watching this time of year, but that's the reality of our situation, and we'll do what we can to control our part.
Why or how has this group stuck around for so long?
Just, I don't know, we're just a really close group. We really enjoy coming to the rink and being together, and we've got a lot of really competitive guys that want to win and want to play playoff hockey. And, unfortunately, only a few of us were here the last time the Flames were in the playoffs, but, getting to see this city in playoff time is really special. And, I know a lot of guys are hungry to get a taste of it if they can. And, it's definitely a motivating factor, and just the fact that, we just don't want this ride to end. We want to keep it going. So, we'll scoreboard watch tonight and get up for our game tomorrow.
You were in your first season, I think, the last time that took place, Blake. Like, do you feel a little bit more of a sense of ownership now that you've been here for a few years, and you can kind of tell guys, hey, this is what this city looks like when we're in a playoff situation?
Yeah, I think guys have seen it, whether it's on TV or just heard about it through word of mouth, and it's not quite the same as actually getting to experience it for yourself. So, we've definitely talked about it, and we're happy we have these meaningful games down the stretch that we can get to play in good environments. It was real loud in the rink last night, and it's an exciting time of year to be playing these games that matter. So, getting to the playoffs is obviously a different level and another level of excitement in the city, and we're going to do our part till we don't have a chance anymore. We're going to keep playing hard and giving ourselves a chance to be there.
Like, I know it's much more small picture than big picture for you guys right now, but there's so much talk about what these meaningful games can mean to young players. What is your experience in that regard in terms of what those sort of first tastes of those must-wins can do for a guy?
Well, it's important. It gives you stuff to draw back on. I mean, the intensity level may not be quite, or the hype, I guess, is not quite what it is in the playoffs, but I go back to my first full season in New Jersey. We were in the exact same scenario as this team. We had to win a lot of games down the stretch and didn't have expectations to be in the playoffs that year. Almost an identical setup, and I got to play really meaningful minutes down the stretch of that season, and fortunately we were able to win a lot of games, and we ended up sneaking in that year, and I got a few playoff games under my belt, and it just gives you the experience and that understanding of how to play in those types of games and what it's going to require of you, shift in and shift out. And so it's definitely an invaluable experience for a lot of the young kids and guys that haven't had those meaningful games in the last couple of years. And, obviously it gets amplified once you actually do get in the playoffs, but there's no doubt that these games hold a lot of weight for those guys.
Do you remember who were some of the guys in New Jersey that pushed you over the edge?
Like my teammates.
Yeah.
And that? Yeah, I mean, well, we had Taylor Hall hit the MVP season that year, and Keith Kincaid had come in as kind of a surprise goalie that carried us down the stretch, and same thing. We had a lot of young guys gaining that experience. We had Bratt, Heischer, Zaka. We had guys that were just getting their feet wet in the league, and with myself included, and those guys have gone on to be, have very successful careers and have played well in playoff games as well. So I think, you always have that experience to draw back on, and I expect it to be the same for this group.
Probably a month that we've been asking you guys about must-win games, if not longer. Do you feel like the group has progressively, just through experience now, gotten better at kind of riding the wave and staying locked in?
Yeah, I mean, I would say we're probably a dangerous team if we get in, because we've played playoff games for the last month. month and a half, really. Like, it's just been one after the other, and understanding the grind and how to take care of yourself in between games and what it's going to require to have all these must-win games, and that's what the playoffs is. So, you know, in a way, we've gotten that playoff experience before even getting there. So, like I said, it's not fully in our control, but if we take care of our business and we do find a way to somehow get in, then I feel really good about this group and what we can do.
Not in terms of preparations, but in terms of just like attitude and approach. Like, is it sort of like the opponent stops mattering?
Yeah, we take care of what we can control, and that's our game as well. I think we feel like if we're at our best and we're playing the way that we need to play and we know we can play, we're not too concerned about who's on the other side, and that's just how this league is. Anybody can beat anybody on a given night, and if you don't bring your A game, you're generally going to pay for it. So just control what we can and look to the next day and one game at a time.
You
So,
watching
like,
hockey night?
are you scoreboard watching tomorrow? Are you sitting on or tonight? Are you sitting on your couch and watching intently some of those games, or are you trying to get away and just give yourself kind of a mental break?
I don't know that I'll probably just check the app every now and then. It's a little late too, so I might be sleeping in the third. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, you definitely have your finger on the pulse, and you know, especially because you know we need those games to get in now. You know, if it's one thing if we still had control, but we'll see. You know, the pressure's on those teams now, and they're gonna have to come out and perform. And you know, we're proud that we've put them in that position, and honestly, it's more about what we do, because if we don't take care of our end of the deal, then it's all pretty irrelevant.